Hello, everyone. Welcome to Learning to Love. I am joined with Philip Bier, and we are talking about our curriculum. We want to give you a little bit of an idea on the curriculum and what some of that involves so that you can have a better understanding of what we're trying to bring to the world and how we're trying to do that. So, hi, Philip.
Hey, good morning, Jenna.
This is great. I'm so excited that we're running this and sharing this information out. So today we are going to be speaking about one of the fundamentals of the curriculum, and that's really when we start to talk about thoughts and feelings and how thoughts and feelings are related. So I love how you speak about that, Philip, if you want to share that with people, and what does that even mean?
What's been so great is seeing how it keeps coming up in the groups that we present this right at the very beginning, and then throughout the time. There's so many examples that come up with people about how their thoughts and their emotions are connected. And the piece that is of most interest to me is the piece that any emotion that we're experiencing can always be traced back to a thought that we're having. And the reason we have the emotion is based on that thought or belief. And if I have a different thought or belief, I'll have a different emotion. And I can go into some examples, but are there any that come to mind for you?
Yeah, well, what I'm hearing from you, and I like the way we phrase this in our classes about what we do, how we behave, how we be in this world is all based on three things: what we know, what we think, and what we believe. And so when I think about that and I start to look at myself and my own experiences and how that shows up, really anything that I'm experiencing in the moment is just my perception of it. And I'm behaving forward from that place of that perception. So I think there's a million examples that we can use and discuss around this. Day to day, even just simple little things on how I reacted with the people I met this morning, and how I interacted with them based on what I believe about them, what I believe about me, what I'm thinking in the moment. Am I in a positive thought process, or did I perhaps wake up in a negative thought process? Maybe didn't get enough sleep last night, so woke up a little bit tired. So that starts my day, just those two components, thought and then belief, and past experience. So I really think that it's a great way to look at everything that we are experiencing. It doesn't really matter what the subject matter is.
Yeah, and the way that it plays out in day-to-day life can be absolutely fascinating. I'm guessing that lots of the people who are watching this are going to be working with someone who they need to report to, and how they imagine that person is thinking about them will determine how they're feeling on that particular day. So if my boss is happy with me, it's going to impact how I report to my boss. If I think that they may be angry with me, it's going to change my emotional structure, what's going on inside me, my feelings about, again, how I approach myself, how I approach the work that I'm doing, and how I approach the boss. And the same thing goes within my family, that inside a family, I'm maybe having one experience because I believe that my daughter did something intentionally. So I'll get really upset with her. If I discover that the thing that she did was not intentional at all, it completely changes the whole story. And it's that changing story that is so interesting, because our story is what's determining why we're reacting the way that we are, why we're feeling these things.
Mm-hmm. And a great example I just thought of was last night I had parent-teacher interviews with my son. And some of the feedback from the teachers was, your son's not really engaged. He's kind of checked out. And he's not producing. He's behind. And this is coming to me when I've always had a son that's an A-B student, and I've never really had to deal with this before. And I automatically went to, my son's lazy. He's he's not cutting the mustard. He's not putting in the work. And I got so angry, and I came home and I was like, we need to talk and things are going to change and rah, rah, rah. And he was just blindsided because he's like, what are you talking about? I'm doing my work and I'm fine. And I got these 2 things to get in, but I've got it. And so I came in on attack pit bull mode because on, what I think is you're lazy. What I believe is that's a direct reflection on me, right? And my past experience with laziness and how I was even raised. You don't be lazy. You get stuff done. So all of that played into this one moment, and he wasn't even involved. So I did that whole thing before I even got home.
Yeah, and is that not so wonderful, the potential that it has for a person who learns how to pay attention to the thoughts that we're having? Mm-hmm. The moment that we have a reaction, and we're able to trace the reaction back to the emotion that we're having. So I won't have a reaction unless there's something emotionally going on for me. And then to ask, well, in order for me to have that emotion, I must have been thinking or believing something. I wonder what that was. And it's completely transformative. Mm-hmm. We can change everything about the way that we relate to the society that we live in, and our judgments or our beliefs about it, how we react to situations that we're coming into the whole time, even if it's another driver on the road or a politician, and what it is that we believe about their motivations or their integrity. Mm-hmm. It shifts everything.
And the beauty of that is the things that we're, in a situation on the road, we get cut off, we automatically create this really large story about the person that cut us off, which isn't tangible. There's nothing tangible in that. Yet we hold that and then we bring it into the rest of our day, and that affects everything and everybody that we are involved with until we get flipped out of it. But with the awareness in the moment, I like what you said. For instance, in the situation with my son, if in the moment I recognized and said, wow, okay, I've really been triggered here. What am I thinking? What am I believing? And what's my past experience with this? And is it true? Is it real? And really questioning it before I stepped into engagement. So what I love about this work is it's the pre-work, right? Instead of react, we're really teaching people how to respond, right? From a very aware place.
Yeah, and the word that would sum that up is mindfulness.
Yeah.
And developing that mindful practice so that we pause within our reactiveness, mm-hmm. and move from our reactiveness to reflection. And that way we can stall the escalation of the reaction. Mm-hmm. That's a power.
It's very powerful, and I know I've gone through the program myself, and now I'm so pleased to be able to teach it with you. And we get to sort of move forward side by side, but it really does start with awareness, and that's such a key to this learning, and huge appreciation from my perspective on that being full of mind and paying attention and noticing and observing and being with it for a few minutes to be able to slow down the reactionary state of us so that we now engage differently. And it's truly life-changing. So I really appreciate the time that we have together here that we can talk about this a little bit further. We're going to carry forward, for those of you listening, we're going to carry forward and we're going to have more conversations to come. Thanks for spending these few minutes with us, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye to everyone.